Want to know how you can beat the dreaded resume robot and actually get your resume to a real-life recruiter? Let's find out. Hey, I'm Doug, and I help young and driven professionals just like you to reach their amped-up career by developing their unique personal brand and unlocking the mysteries of resumes and interviews. If you're new to the channel, subscribe below. So have you been applying to larger companies, corporations, and they make you upload your resume on top of writing out all of your work experience in an application? If so, then you have had experience with the dreaded resume robot, also known as an applicant tracking system or ATS. Larger companies use applicant tracking systems to help them sort through all the resumes that they're receiving on a daily basis. So they collect, they track, they sort, and it's a way for the larger companies to automate a part of the recruitment process. Because if you think of a large company like an Apple or a Google, and then think of how many job openings they actually have, and then on top of that, how popular they are with job seekers, you can think of how many resumes must be sent to them on a daily basis. So it's definitely understandable that larger companies use ATSs to help them with the recruitment process. However, on the job seeker side, this has caused a lot of frustration with candidates because a seemingly qualified candidate could just not get a response. So to tell you a little bit about how applicant tracking systems work, when a candidate applies for a job for a company that uses applicant tracking systems, the ATS will scan your application and your resume to look for certain keywords, and they're going to give you a score of sorts based on whether or not you have certain criteria and keywords inside your resume. Real life recruiters are there to set up the system and give them the point values, but it's the ATS or the resume robot that actually does the sorting and figure out what score your resume is going to get. Now, if your resume doesn't reach a certain score threshold, then your resume may be rejected. So if you're not putting the right things in your resume and your application, then it may not be seen by a real life recruiter. So what can you do to beat the resume robot and actually get it seen by a real life recruiter? First thing is that you'll want to use a traditional resume format. The ATS is a computer program after all, so they're not going to really care about the fancy formatting and fancy designs that you may put into your resume. Many people are using Canva to help them design an appealing resume, so ones that look good with lots of colors, tables and things like that. But if you're applying to a larger company that uses ATSs, it's not going to help you at all. If there are too many design elements, the ATS is not going to know where to look and where to grab words and keywords, and then they're not going to give you a good score. So you'll want to use a traditional format that makes sure that they can see your personal information, your contact info, where exactly your work experience, your education, and your skills are. So make sure your traditional format has clear headings and that your other information is properly under those headings. Next, you'll want to use keywords that the ATS is actually looking for. So for each application, the ATS is going to be scanning through your resume to look for keywords that is important to them. Again, this is created by the real life recruiters. So the real life recruiter is going to let the ATS know what keywords are important and what they should be grabbing from your resume. So then what are those keywords you should put in your resume? Well, what you'll want to do is look at the job description for the job opening. Really read through the job description to figure out what keywords are needed and highlight those keywords. Maybe there are words that are repeated or things that look like they're pretty important for you to know. Next tip is don't use any graphics or pictures. As I mentioned before, Canva has a lot of templates that include graphics and pictures that show design elements. But if you're going to be applying for one of those larger companies, do not use these types of resumes. They're just going to screw up the scanning from the ATS, and the ATS might end up just scanning gibberish, which means 0 points for you on your resume. So plain and simple is going to really help when you're applying for a job that has an ATS. If this is making sense so far, let me know with a thumbs up in this video. Also in the comments, let me know if you've applied for a job recently that uses an ATS. Next tip might seem super obvious, but sometimes it just bears repeating, is to apply for jobs that you're actually qualified for. I myself am a former corporate recruiter and hiring manager, and when I was in my recruiter position, I noticed that there were candidates applying for all types of jobs, all types of openings in the company. And they would do this even if they didn't have relevant experience in that job opening, because they wanted to just get their foot in the door. But unfortunately, if there is an ATS, you're not going to get a good score for that specific application that you have no relevant information or relevant experience for. That means you're going to get a bad score, and that means you're going to get rejected. What's even worse is that some companies, some corporations have a limit on how many applications you can apply for and when you can apply again. Sometimes that's 6 months or even a year from the rejection. So you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot and apply for things that are just going to get you rejected right away, and then you're not going to be able to apply for that company for another couple months or even a year. Now you may be watching this video and you're thinking, oh, an ATS is just a computer and we can probably just cheat the system. There are people in other videos that are teaching people how to cheat the system by stuffing their resumes with keywords. They're telling them to hide keywords using white font and just putting them everywhere in the margins so that the ATS will still scan it and grab it as a keyword for the resume. Sure, that's gonna maybe give you a better score for the ATS, but you're eventually still gonna get to a real life recruiter, and what then? What is your resume gonna even look like at that point? And also, are you going to be able to answer the questions in the interview? So what I'm teaching you is how to beat the resume robot, not how to cheat the system. Because if you try to cheat the system and you get found out, you might get banned from ever applying for that company. So my best piece of advice for you to beating the resume robot is to make sure that you have relevant information inside your resume and show them how you're gonna be the best candidate for this job. Now make sure to watch my other videos on how to write the perfect resume bullet point and also how to write and design the most effective resume. And you can check them out right here. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to download my free guide, which has more information on how you can improve your job search process. It's called 6 Simple Steps to an Amped Up Career, and it's the only framework you'll ever need to help you land your dream career. The link is in the description below. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking right here and click the bell notification so you'll know when the next video comes up. But again, check out my other videos right here. I'll be making more videos on career clarity, resumes, and interviews, so make sure to check them all out. See you in the next video.